Welcome back on the program. The security situation in Nigeria at the moment is becoming worrisome, and a lot of people, political pundits, stakeholders, security experts are indeed talking about providing solutions to some of those challenges immediately after the 2019 presidential, state house of assembly elections, national assembly elections, the governorship elections. The rising in kidnapping is becoming a recurring decima every day in Nigeria at the moment. We saw what transpired in Zamfara yesterday, over 30 people killed. So what is happening concerning the security architecture of the country, Nigeria? Now, after the 10-day visit to the United Kingdom of President Muhammadu Buhari, he came back into the country on Sunday, and it is expected that with the request of the National Assembly, whether the president will assent to them by talking about ways of providing solutions to some of those challenges bedeviling the country, from Boko Haram to herdsmen crisis. Now, the new words in our lexicon that we're using now is armed banditry. What exactly is happening? My guest has stay here, providing solutions to some of those challenges bedeviling the country at the moment. I have Dr. Kayode. Dr. Kayode is a political technocrat, and also we have Dr. Augustine Agugua. He is a senior lecturer, Department of Sociology, UNILAG. Many thanks for staying tuned, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Let me start with you, Dr. Austin Agugwa. What do you make of the rising kidnapping, armed banditry in the country at the moment?
Let me start by making the observation that most times abnormal reactions to abnormal situations should reflect to be seen as a normal reaction and action. Because it will be very, very hypocritical of you and me to sit here and gloat over issues that border on poor governance and poor governance dividends over the years and expect normalcy to prevail. Whether we like it or not, things are terribly in a state of comatose as it has to do with dividends of democracy in this country for the past few years. And in my own assessment, I'm saying past few years now, I would say that beyond the Buhari era. But the unfortunate thing is that as the years go by, it keeps on getting worse. To the extent that today, residents of the president's own state are fleeing to Niger Republic for refuge. To the extent that, as we are talking, not too long ago, we are talking about the in-law of the president being kidnapped. To the extent that sometime last week, earlier than that, we are talking about 2 policemen attached to the National Assembly being kidnapped, ransom paid for them, and the kidnappers still refuse to release them. I mean,
even the president's aides relative.
The implication of this is that we have gotten to a state of low intensity warfare that everyone should be bothered, and especially those of them in governance. It's time to leave the shores of propaganda, falsehood, and outright lying to face the issues on ground, that all is not well, that the nation is in a state of turmoil. And let me make it very clear. I will summarize this view because it's something we are going to discuss in detail. You know, I got into a discussion somewhere, and one Yoruba adage came to the fore, where it was interpreted to mean that the rich people in their castles are not sleeping because the poor people in the ghettos are awake. What's the implication? There was this write-up about a transformation of the Amajiris from being beggars to kidnappers. That will tell you the nature of the dynamism and transmutation of the downtrodden of the Nigerian society now taking the battle to people who ordinarily might be seen to be their oppressors, but not necessarily the oppressors. People who are seen to be architects of their problem because of their inadequacy or inability to transmute governance dividends to common goods which those people should enjoy. That is the major problem we are facing today, and I think it calls for a kind of national concern which all of us should be involved in.
Okay, let me talk to you, Kayode. In all of these developments, are you also worried?
You see,
with the rising banditry and kidnapping.
Let me even appreciate you for bringing this particular topic at this present time, because in the last 1-2 weeks I've been coming up with some thoughts as regards the security situation in this country. To that extent, let me move from his own perspective to this. Emmanuel, we need to understand the etymological trajectory of what we call Nigeria. That word Nigeria is even supposed to be Nigeria. I don't know whether is it even supposed to be Nigeria? Because Nigeria means Niger area. Is Ekiti very close to Niger? No. Is Maiduguri close to Niger? No. Rivers, they call it rivers. It has its own river. Is it close to that Niger? No. Why I'm saying this is we need to understand it from the foundation. Then for us to be able to know how to sort it out. Because the moment the foundation is faulty, then whatever structure is on it, there's going to be crisis. I think there used to be a country known as Ouagadougou. What is the name now? Burkina Faso. Because they found out that that word Burkina Faso was faulty. And look at what Thomas Sankara did before he was killed. There used to be a country known as Gold Coast, that is gold area. They name it Gold Coast because they always steal their gold. They now say this is where we steal our gold, though. Let us call it gold area. And when people that are sensible, people that are cerebral, people that are proactive got into power, they said, no, you are no more stealing our gold. So stop calling our country gold area. They now call it what? Ghana. We used to have Rhodesia. What is their name now? And on and on and on. I'm coming.
Kayode, will that solve the security situation, the security challenge we're having at the moment?
I'm coming. That's why I tell you that we got to look at the etymological trajectory of that country called Nigeria. All right? Now, to a very large extent, they now said the population of this area is this. This one is this. That one is this. Until today, Nigeria is yet to correct that. So all these things are built up. I was showing you something on your screen the other time. The insignia of what we call Nigerian Army. You saw what is written on it? Can you read it? No. Can I read it? No. Then how can I say that is my own Nigerian Army? It is not Nigerian Army, it's some other people's army. Those are part of the issue. That is, some people owns army. And that army will not work for you, will not work for me, but work for those people that it belongs to. So why won't there be agitations? Why won't there be crisis? Why won't there be kidnapping? Why would there be problems? All these things we are seeing, all this insecurity we are seeing, are byproduct of some faulty activities, faulty relationship in this country. I'm not saying Nigeria should not be Nigeria. Nigeria should be one. But the issue is we have to redefine what we call Nigeria.
Okay, let me put you on the pause at the moment. In the build-up to the 2019 elections, you saw how peaceful it was as at then.
What? No. I'm sorry, it was peaceful.
Just a moment.
It was peaceful. It was a contracted peace.
During the election, we hardly heard about kidnapping killings here
You
and
hardly?
there. Yeah.
Thank God it never happened to you.
I can tell you authoritatively.
2015 election.
I'm talking about the 2019 elections. They just concluded
Election.
2019 election.
You were not hearing of kidnapping then?
Just hold on.
But how about
Now,
S-men?
immediately,
How about Boko Haram?
immediately after the election,
Elections.
we had a spate of increase.
Yes. I want
In
to
kidnapping.
I want to comment there. Here's a point which we need to really build on. And that was a point, I think, in one of our outings at Star FM, somebody made a point of that when it was being addressed, that there is a law in the activities of the herdsmen clashes. And to a reasonable extent, from point of view of proportion, it reduced. It drastically reduced. And in that outing, we were able to adduce certain points as being responsible. And that actually puts the governance of the Nigerian nation to question. Because the issue was being made and being clearly made that there was this law in the sense that it was politically motivated. The people had gone underground to actually test the will of the Nigerian people, to monitor the trend the election will go, to make sure that no person will use it as a kind of political campaign. And within that period, it went down. It was not in the news any longer. But in I was making reference to this, yes, it has to do with one of our outings at Star FM. I don't know whether you were there, where somebody now called a spot somewhere, I think in one of these IDP camps, I think it should be in Benin, that it was even being touted that those people have been relocated from their what internally displaced persons' locations.
Their location.
And they were not telling us that they were all lies. It's all falsehood. It's all propaganda. But propaganda or no propaganda, Emmanuel, you made a point. That's the proportion of killings, the proportion of conflicts, the proportion of clashes, and the proportions of kidnappings, as it has to do with that area of engagement, went down drastically. And immediately after the elections, it picked up.
Are you not saying there is a role?
There is a political dimension to
played
it.
by the press too.
So, besides the press,
that area,
now the other side to it, you can now understand when some people said or made reference to the statement by the Kaduna State Governor at a point in time that he had to pay off some Fulani herdsmen so that the killings in Kaduna will go down. Is it not in line with the recent development in Kebbi State, where the Minister of Internal Affairs went into dialogue with Mieti Alam Agban
100 billion
that they should help to bring down the problem of kidnapping in the Core North? And the end point was that an agreement was now struck at 100 billion naira. That is a slap on the security machinery of this nation.